I want to hear from you guys is where are you trying to go with this? And let me tell you what I mean by that. If you ask me today, Coach Burt, what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go? I would tell you I'm trying to go to become a nationally known, right, thought leader in the world, national and international thought leader in the world, very similar to my mentor, which was Dr. Stephen Covey. And what that means is there's all kinds of things that I'm trying to do to raise my person of interest status in the world. Okay. And some of those are write best-selling books. Some of those are be on some of the biggest podcasts in the world, right? Some of those will be on big online coaching summits. Some of those just are to strategically partner with key people in the world. But at the end of the day, my strategy is to become a person of interest in the world. Now, why is that important? Because it helps me help more people, helps me grow my brand, helps me fulfill my dream. So what I'd like to hear from you as we go around the group is I'd like to hear during this mentoring, what are you trying to do? Because it's one thing, like for Michael Cutbrith, who now has a book, to have a book, right? Like a book is an asset. But if we can't monetize the book, then the book can't help us go to the next level. If we have a book that we can't get in people's hands, or we can't utilize, or we don't have a coaching program, or it doesn't generate revenue, then it's nice to say I got a book, but it don't matter that I got a book because nobody's reading the book. Okay. So Michael, you kick us off and tell the group what you're trying to accomplish here.
No, I asked myself a question. I sent you an email about 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
It's kind of like, when did I stop dreaming bigger?
Yeah.
Wanting bigger. And not just for me, but for the world. It's like, I've been in the financial services business 30 years, and there are just some flat out mistruths out there that I would like to correct with as many people as I can, but concentrate first of all on just becoming well known in the county that I live in.
Yeah.
And then between what you offer and teach me and what the man upstairs has, then, let's open it up to wherever that path takes me, whether it's countrywide, statewide, worldwide. Don't put any limits, especially here. If the door opens, go through it.
In 2012, I was at a conference in Mexico, Riviera Maya, Mexico, and it was Grant Cardone, his wife, Bradley, his wife, Matt Monero, his wife. And I was talking about, dominating my local market, Nashville, Tennessee, local market, dominating this, right? And I remember it like it was yesterday because it was a key moment. You know, when a person says something to you that you don't like the way they say it, but you need to hear it. And Cardone looks at me and he's like, look, I need you to quit talking like that. It's embarrassing. And I'm like, what do you mean it's embarrassing? Like, I want to go back and kind of dominate my area, become a person of interest. And he said, look, your area is planet Earth. It's not local. Now, do you need to dominate the backyard before you dominate the whole yard? Of course. But I would ask you, do you want to be a person of interest in your city? Or do you want to be a person of interest in the world? And if you want to be a person of interest in the world, then we gotta quit thinking locally and start thinking globally. And this is very important because with technology today, you can be a global star. Like, remember in the old days, being famous, one of my media coaches told me this. In the old days, to be famous, you had to be in the movies. You had to be a major athlete. You had to be, right? You had to be famous, which means known, renowned. In today's world, he said the way you become famous is more people feel connected to you. And people can feel connected to you by watching your YouTube videos. They can feel connected to you by listening to you on podcasts and interviews. They can feel connected to you by reading your books. They can be connected to you by listening to your online summits. Like being famous today is about connection. Everybody see that? Mm-hmm. Now, the reason that's important is that opens it up for all of us to be famous. Because in the old days, we had to do something really big to become famous. Now, I would tell you, if you're doing small things, you're not going to become that known, and you're not going to become renowned. You may be known to a few people. And if those are big economic buyers, then that may be okay if you're just known to a few people. But I think many of you have a desire to be known to a bigger world. The reason I write a book today is I don't write a book unless I think it will either start a movement or solve a major problem in the world. And the funny thing I would tell you is some of the books I wrote in the past that really weren't big sellers are much bigger sellers today. Like my book on confidence is more valuable today than it was when I wrote it 10 years ago. Everybody see that? And I didn't know that. Who would know? So now I come back 10 years later. This is very important. I come back 10 years later and I partner with Tim Story, who's the comeback coach. And I say, let's do a 4-week program called Confidence and Comebacks. And you talk about comebacks and I talk about confidence. Now we've taken it to a tour. We just released today that we're bringing it to Phoenix, Arizona. Now we're on tour going city to city on this comeback tour where I talk about confidence. Sharon Lecter talks about how she took Rich Dad, Poor Dad to 42 million copies. And I talk about, right? And I talk about, or Tim Story talks about comebacks to setbacks. That all started with me writing a book on confidence 10 years ago. Tim Story writing a book on setbacks to comebacks, right? That raises our status. Now, let me tell you where I'm going with this. I see that we're doing it now for just 50 people. We're doing it literally for just cities and 50 people. And then we have an offer at the end for those 50 people to join us for a 2-day summit at my lodge in Tennessee for $5,000. 20 people have already taken advantage of that. We believe by the time we actually do it in November, there will be 50 people that have taken advantage of that. Okay. So I'm showing you that because look at the monetization of the concept. I write a book on confidence. He writes a book on setbacks. I come back years later and throw a spin on it and go, let's call it confidence and comebacks. We take the 4-week program like this, right? And then we turn it into a tour where we go city to city, get 50 people, and then we turn it into a $5,000 boot camp, right? For 50 people. And then we generate $250,000, of which each one of us, me, Sharon Lecter, and Tim Story would split that in thirds. But $250,000, Michael's a math guy, but how much is that worth to us, right? 70, what is that? 70, 80, $90,000 to each of us. Now, my point is to do what? What we love doing, which is coaching people, right? How many of you would take $90,000 for 2 days to coach people at a place you love? All of us would. So it's taken me years and years and years to figure out these formulas that I'm teaching you. Because in the old days, just to be honest with you, I would go speak and have a book, and I may make $500 extra by selling my book. Steve Martinez, you understand where I'm going with this? Now I can go speak just to 50 people and produce another 50, 60, 70, 80,000 or 150,000 in a day to do what I love doing. So these are the kind of tactics and that I want to show you during this $1 Million mentoring, because that's really how you take a small concept, package it up, take it to the marketplace, have something else in the future. So what's the lessons that we can learn there? Number one, you need to be reaching up to successful people. Okay. And I want to refer back to a new show that's out there called Undercover Billionaire. And in Undercover Billionaire, it's a show on Discovery where they take a billionaire and they drop him off in Erie, Pennsylvania. And he only has $100. He cannot use any of his contacts. He cannot tell anybody he's a billionaire. They give him an old truck to drive. And his goal is to reproduce $1 million of revenue in 90 days. That's his goal. Isn't that a pretty cool concept? Could we drop you off in a city where you know no one, you can't tell people who you are, you have $100, and you got to make $1 million in 90 days. That is a great concept. So I started asking myself, what would I do if you dropped me off in, I don't know how to pronounce it, Harlingen, Texas? Is that how you say it, Steve? Yeah, let me unmute you. How do you say it? Okay, all right. Okay, you can unmute yourself there. You're still muted.
Yeah, I'm in McAllen, Texas.
McAllen, okay. but there is a Harligan or something, right?
Yeah, Harlingen. Yeah,
Harligan.
Harlingen.
Yeah, okay. I see. I can't even pronounce it. If you drop me off in either one of these, and I knew no one, and I had $100, I'm asking myself, what would I do to produce $1 million in 90 days? That's what I'm asking myself. Here's what I would do. If it was permissible by the game, I would go to somebody who's already successful. Let's say they drop me off in your city, Steve. I go straight to Steve's office and I'd say, man, for 90 days, I'm going to do nothing but help you generate more money. You're already successful. I'm going to help you be more successful. And I'm going to come up with a plan to produce $1 million in the next 90 days. That's our plan, right? So it's interesting. I'm telling you guys this because in the old days, I was thinking small. How do I write a book and sell one book? How do I write a book and make myself a little person of interest? How do I become known at the local chamber of commerce? How do I, right now I'm thinking, how do I become a known quantity in the world? All right. Now, part of becoming a known quantity in the world, as I said last night on my show, is creating something, doing something, starting something. Right? It's being known. The word, like I said, the word known or famous just means known. Just means known. And it was interesting. Last night after I did the workshop, I was hungry. I was down in Nashville, Tennessee, where I have a condo. And it was just me. My family's back at my house. And I said, I'm going to go down and get some dinner. And I'm going to, maybe listen to some music. And there was this guy singing that I remember seeing 10 or 15 years ago, back when he was trying to make it as a big star, and he just never made it. So he's just playing in this little restaurant. I remember as soon as I walked in, I said, man, I know I've seen that guy somewhere. I know I've seen that guy. And sure enough, it was a guy that I had seen 10 or 15 years ago that was on his way up. And here's the sad part. When I saw him 10 or 15 years ago, I said, this guy's got he can do it. I think he can become a big star. He's got some stage presence. Last night, he seemed like a tired, older, rundown country music wannabe that wants to be big, but he don't even have enough energy to go do it. He was good, but he just didn't have that edge he had 10 or 15 years ago. 10 or 15 years ago, I said, man, this guy's got some juice. He can do it. I believe he can make it. But he didn't make it. And so now he's playing for tips. And he would sing any song that you would pay $20 to hear him sing, whether he could sing it or not. He'd try. And it's like his biggest goal was just to get somebody to give him $20 in a tip jar. It was really sad, to be honest with you, because I saw somebody's hopes and dreams. I saw him 15 years ago and have dreams. And it's like, man, I just don't have any dreams anymore. I'm just trying to play for $20. Okay. And so I really want to encourage you. Part of this concept of this mentoring is we got to start asking you, how do you become a person of interest in the world? Okay. And I'm going to give you some things that I think you got to do. Okay. If you haven't written a book yet, I think we need to get something out in the marketplace. Okay. Now I know what you're going to tell me. You may say it's hard. I don't know how to do it. I completely understand. When I wrote my first book at 25, I had no idea what I was doing. Okay. It was a little book about this big. It was called Changing Lives Through Coaching. I didn't even know who to sell it to. We don't even sell that book today because I don't think it was very good. But let me tell you this. At least I had the guts to write it. And because I wrote that, now I've written 17 books. Now I'm working on a six-figure advance with major publishing companies on my next book, Flip the Switch. And it would have never happened if I hadn't had the guts to write the first one. Does everybody see that? The first one gave me the guts to understand, okay, now I have an asset. Okay, now I have something that positions me as an expert. But that's only one little asset. It's not the whole thing. It's just one thing. Okay, now with this asset, to become a person of interest, now I've got a message. Now I've got a message. I got something to say. Okay. Now that I've got this message, I now need to get my message out to people. Okay. I need to get my message out to people. So let me stop right here and let me just show you a rhythm that I use. Okay. I have a database of probably 15,000 people, and we want to communicate with that database like crazy. So every Sunday, I send an email out to my people, my coaching program. Every Thursday, I send a newsletter out to people in the program. Every day, I have something to say to the marketplace that I'm pushing out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Every day, I have one person that's writing articles about me. Coach Burt was just featured in Forbes magazine. Coach Burt did this. Coach Burt signs a deal with this group. All we're doing is raising our person of interest status. And she's also going to the local media, and she's saying, Coach Burt is doing big things. Do you want to interview him? Okay. She's going to podcast people and saying, hey, we'd like to get Coach Burt on your podcast. I just got asked today to be on a podcast that's had 1.6 million downloads. So every day I've got a message. My message is everybody needs a coach in life. My message is flip the switch, activate the prey drive. And all day, every day, like P.T. Barnum, if you go back and watch The Greatest Showman, all day, every day, I am trying to get as much attention. Okay. I'm trying to get as much attention as I can for that. Okay. All right. Did I come back? Make sure I'm back. See, I froze up for a second. Okay. All right. Thank you, Michael. I'm testing some new internet stuff here at my home office. New internet capability. Now, here's my point. If you have a message, all right, so let's go with Michael. Michael, what's your message in your book?
You need me.
All right, say it a little bit louder.
You need me.
Okay, that's the message of your book?
Yeah, to wade through the financial mistruths that are out there.
Okay, so your message is there's a lot of financial mistruths. All right, okay. All right, Stephen, what would you say your message is? Go ahead and unmute yourself there, big guy.
My message is to those who are lost in health wise. So I was thinking about the title of my book, and I think I'm kind of pondering a title of are you sick of being normal? Okay. And what I mean by that is because a lot of times clinicians, they treat only lab results and they don't treat the person. So you can have all the symptoms in the world, but as long as your lab results look good, oh, you're normal, nothing we can do for you. So I'm going to have it being, I'm thinking about, are you sick of being normal? It's because normal's making you sick. And that's kind of the approach I'm going to build off of, because if in the type of medicine I practice, if we get down to that root cause and figuring out, what is causing your symptoms instead of just covering the symptoms, get down to the root cause, that's when people are going to feel well instead of just putting a Band-Aid over everything that will eventually cause more problems in the future. So it's going to be posing a question. Are you sick of being normal? Yes or no? It could be because normal is making you sick. So it's not about being normal, it's about being optimal. And how do we get you there in a very systematic, customized, individual approach? And that's when the magic happens.
All right, good. Now, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing you got to do. And both Stephen and I are friends with Dr. Hotze in Houston, Texas, and we go to Hotze Health and Wellness Center. And for years, I went to a doctor, and the doctor told me, hey, you're good. Then I go to Doc Hotze and he says, no, you're not normal. You're normal. And normal is bad. Okay. And actually your thyroid is incredibly low, and your cortisol is low, and your testosterone is low. And that's your normal doctor's telling you that's okay.
Right.
And I'm telling you that ain't okay. And thank goodness he told me that wasn't okay.
Right.
Okay. But if he would have never walked into my life. Now here's the interesting part. This is the fight you got, Stephen, that I want to coach everybody on. It is very natural to you. You get it. People on here get it. Like, I don't want to be normal. I don't want normal anything. I want normal health. I don't want normal. But the average American in the world is normal. They're average. They're doing average things. When they go to the doctor, the doctor says they're good. They think, I'm good. I'm normal.
Yeah.
Right? So there's an education piece here that if you choose that as your message, and I'm perfectly fine with that as you choose as your message, then you gotta, I think about a message like this. I'm going to create a message like person of interest. Then I'm going to have a book about person of interest. Then I'm going to have a podcast about person of interest. Then I'm going to have an online course about person of interest. Then I'm going to have audio about person of interest. Then I'm going to do a one-day event on person of interest. Then I'm going to do a two-day boot camp on person of interest. Then I'm going to run Facebook ads on person of interest, where I give the book away for free or $9.99. We generate leads to push them to one of these things. Does everybody see that? And what I'm doing is I'm taking a concept and I'm turning that concept into 10 ways to make money with it.
No, I agree. Because in medicine, what we're doing a lot of times as clinicians, we're doing a lot of telling, but not teaching. So I'm going to focus on the teaching part of how to get people to reach their goals and objectives.
Now, the interesting thing you said there is, you know, I do events with this big real estate agent down in Alabama, and he does 100 deals per year with no team. And that's his big theme. What he is great at is he shows you all day long what he's doing. He doesn't tell you he's doing it. He shows you what he's doing. Hey, I'm going to listing appointment number 1. Hey, I just put this one under contract for 150. Hey, I got up at 4:30 this morning and worked out. What I've learned from him by watching him is he's great at showing versus telling.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to add like a videographer with me that's with me all the time, because there's so many coaching moments I have in a day where I'm coaching, I'm selling, I'm on the phone, I'm promoting. And my team is always telling me, man, I wish everybody got to see you doing that. Nobody got to see you coach a person through that life problem they just had. Nobody got to see you make a $25,000 sale. Yesterday, I made a pitch for $500,000. I asked a mortgage company yesterday for $500,000 for me to be their coach. Okay. And they didn't even flinch. They didn't even phase them. Like, I was like, man, I should ask for $1 million. You know, I said, I think this is a $500,000 project. And they went, okay, you know, give us a couple days to put it together. I mean, it was just like that. Then it was like, let's go eat lunch. I mean, it was not a big deal, you know? And up until that point, this is a true story. Up until that point, I had never asked for more than $350,000 to be somebody's coach. So yesterday, me asking for $500,000 for a year to be just one company's coach was a big ask for me. But guess what? The next time it'll be easy for me to ask for $1 million from somebody. Does everybody see that? I remember when I was scared to ask for $300 from somebody. So my point to you is, each step of the way you work a muscle, right? My first coaching assignment, I literally charged $350 for 3 hours. And I thought, you would have thought, man, I had made it to the big leagues, because I didn't know what to ask for. They said, how much is it going to cost? I said, $350. And they said, 3 hours, $350. They said, we're in. And I was like, oh, okay, great. And I mean, it shocked me that they would give me that much money. And so my point is, every time you do something, so to Stephen's point, what I'm trying to teach you guys here is, if you have a concept, Michael's got a concept, that's a mental construct. It don't matter unless he can go out into the marketplace and get large amounts of attention for the concept. The way I get attention for the concept is video, audio, Facebook, Instagram, coaching programs, strategic partnerships. Everybody see that? Go on tour, go out on the road. I mean, anything, be on Pete Vargas's, virtual summit. Like, what I do is anything I can do, because I learned, I just had this revelation just a few years ago. Man, it don't matter how good of a coach I am. If I can't market myself appropriately into becoming known in the world, it does not matter how good you are. You don't have a talent problem. You have a marketing problem. Okay. And so if I took Stephen's concept and I said, man, okay, you know, are you tired of being normal? Then we got to build the whole campaign out. This is the campaign. And man, we got to talk about it everywhere we go. Boom, 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 boom. And we can't jump around because it confuses the market. Okay. So part of being a person of interest is I have a message. Well, really, I've got a mission, I've got a message, and I'm the messenger. And man, I'm going to go to the top of the rooftops and sing as loud as I can to whoever will listen. Now, for proper expectation, this is why understanding the law of diffusion is so critical to your success. Is I know that when I give my message, only 16% of people are going to be innovators or early adopters. Okay, that tells me when I was on Pete Vargas's, Rise Up Summit, if there's 1,000 people watching me that day, there's only 160 of those people who are going to go, you know what? I like this dude and I'm willing to check him out. That's a proper expectation. Then there's going to be a percentage of people that have to watch me more. They had to see it 3 to 7 times. That's early majority. Then there's a percentage of people, it's called late majority. It's got to watch it 7 to 15 times. Then there's a percentage of people that are going to say, man, I'm never going to buy anything from that guy. Okay. And I now understand this is why we have to go through so many people. We're separating out the people who believe the same things we do versus the people that don't. Okay. So just saying that right now, where do each one of you think you have a missing structure when it comes to this person of interest concept? Maybe you don't have the message. Maybe you don't have enough frequency. Maybe you don't have enough mediums. And when I say mediums, I want to hit you on LinkedIn, Facebook, database, right? Like I need podcast shows. Like I need high amounts of frequency. Where do each one of you think you're missing? All right, go ahead, Chandra. Go ahead, Chandra. Go ahead and unmute yourself there.
I think I'm somewhere locked between two. I'm not sure I've been able to craft my message. I know my mission. I don't know if I've been able to craft my message so that I could put it out, that I could be the messenger. And then the second thing is, even if I had the message, I'm not sure of how to market it.
Okay. So think of it this way. I have found my special. I am now packaging my special, and then I am distributing my special. Everybody see that? I have found what makes me unique in the world and my mission. I am now packaging what makes me unique into something a person can absorb. Now, when I use that word absorb, it's like if I wanted to be coached by you, how would I be coached by you? If I wanted to buy something from you, what would I buy? If I wanted to be mentored by you, how right? Like how would I do it? It's very critical because the packaging piece is anything the consumer can feel, touch, taste, absorb. Okay.
So
now,
can I to go with Stephen, my message or mission, I have a play which I want to turn into a book. I had a play that I actually put together and I took it to universities and did the play, and then we would have workshops behind. And I found that there was so much traction around people wanting to understand the 9 principles in the play. And so I want to turn that into a book that has the 9 principles and maybe at the end of every chapter, some kind of working through, because I am walking to becoming a personal transformation coach for women, but I'm story-based. I'm a storyteller with 25 years in global change management. And so I'm marrying the two, and I'm using story as my tool. But my tool is the world according to she. And so what I want to do is to deconstruct the patriarchy that runs our communities and our political environments, and mainly our corporations. I was in a big 6 consulting firm. It didn't make a difference how good I was. I was still a woman. And even in this arena, I'm a woman, and I still see that some things I gotta do. I gotta get muscles, and So I want to be able to bring in some of the softer sides,
okay.
Into all arenas.
Yep.
And in order to bring balance. I came off the heels of the feminist movement. My mother said, go to law school, go to business school, and she didn't tell me that I had to become a man once I got there. So my message is bringing the softer side to everything that we do, but we have to deconstruct the stories that have run our lives in order to do that.
All right. So when you think about your concept, okay, my daughter says hello. When you think
oh,
about,
gorgeous. Okay.
when you think about the concept and deconstructing that, what I think about is, how do I take all of it that you said and turn it into a real simple concept that we can take and package up? And we want to package that up into something people can absorb, right? So if I come to you and say, look, I really like your concept. I want to learn these 9 principles. How can I buy it? What can I buy there? Can I buy the book? Can I buy an online course? Can I buy a one-day event with you where I learn how to those 9 principles? Can I buy a coaching summit? Can I buy a 2 days with you? Can I buy 6 months with you? What I'm saying is it has to be packaged in a way that if I like you and I see you on something, let's say you get on a podcast on this concept, then I go, hey, boom, where do I go to consume this content?
Oh.
Okay, where do I go to consume this content from you? And that's really the missing piece for so many people in the world, right? They got an idea, they got a concept, they got a book, but I need to get a bunch of attention for that concept, and I need some way to absorb something. Just like you came in last night on my webinar, Person of Interest. That was something for you to absorb. It was free. It was an hour coaching, and it was my way to show you. I call that the showcase. It allowed me to showcase my ability for you to get to know me better. And then you can say, you know what? I want to be mentored by Coach. That makes sense? So you got the concept. Now we need to move to packaging of the concept. Then we move to the third piece, which will be distribution of the concept, which means, hey, we need to be talking about it. You know, even if you use the methodology that I use, I'm going to do 3 free webinars on this concept. Now, the word I want to show you is called splintering. And splintering is where you take one piece. Let's say you take 2 or 3 of those principles and you pull them out and you say, I'm going to do a free webinar on these 3 things. And I'm going to do a series. So I'm going to do 3 webinars. And in each webinar, I'm going to give you 3 principles. But then you got to have something to push me to. And in today's world, it's never been easier. You could literally push me to a 4-week. You could replicate exactly what I did. You could say, I'm going to do a 4-week mentoring program. You pick the price. If you want to start lower, it's $297, it's $497, it's $997. And let's just say you get 10 people. And now you've made, $497 at 10 people. Now you made, $5,000 for your coaching. And eventually, imagine having 100 people on there. Do you know how much money Pete Vargas made from that Rise Up Challenge? Like I heard it was as much as 3.8 million. But that was orchestrated beautifully. Like look at how he did it. Had all of us on there. Then he had different packages. Then he collected all the data and kept the data, and then used the data to remarket and retarget you. I mean, it was genius. Okay, so you guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Pete Vargas did this 2 or 3 week online summit, and he was literally able to get the biggest people in the world: Tony Robbins, John Maxwell, some of the top women in the world, Sarah Blakely, Damon John. I mean, he was literally able to get the biggest people in the world to come on there, because what do we want? An audience. We want to get in front of 100,000 people. Then he collects all the data. Then he turns around and sells the package. Then he turns around and pushes them to other coaching programs he has, which was genius. It was absolutely genius. And the word I heard is he made $3.8 million, which I'm happy for him. Right? That's a genius thing. Took a lot of coordination, but it was great. All right, what questions do you guys have about the packaging? John, where are you missing the boat on these 3 things? I got to find it, I got to package it, I got to distribute it.
To me, I think I came from China, so language is my barrier, so I cannot speak very well in a big crowd. I can speak like one-on-one or a small room, maybe like a dozen people. It's okay, but like stage, you did at the like Vegas or a lot of international stage. So I'm lacking of training how to, put myself into the bigger like target from the audience. I have my own story. So I have my thought is how big is your dream? How successful can you be or can be you? That means I came from China. I was born in the countryside. So when I was a little kid, I had a dream, just get out of the countryside. I can go to the city to study, get my degree. So I did, from 1981, I went to college. It's a medium-sized city in China, not too far from Shanghai. So I got a degree. Then I, get an opportunity to teach the students. That school I graduated. So I did 7 years, taught the senior students machine tool design. And 1992, so I had the opportunity, went to Shanghai and get my English training done. So I was like a visiting scholar candidate to teach the University of Tokyo. But because for 1989, the Tiananmen Square massacre, so I didn't finish the extensive training. I didn't go to Japan, but in 1992, I just came to US for my dream. I said, now I fulfilled my first dream, live in a city. Now I want to go to the United States because computer science, US is like 30 years ahead of China. And I was a faculty, but I only have 20 hours computer experience per year. So I need to learn computer science. Then I went to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology in Terre Haute, Indiana. I got my master's degree in mechanical engineering. So 1994, I worked for automotive industry, several big ones like Cummins, Johnson Controls. And finally, I ended up in Nashville. And so I was shifting my career from engineering to real estate like almost 4 years ago. So my first firm I joined is Excel Realty, Real Estate Solutions in Hendersonville. And I think I heard your preach at that time. So I saw, awesome guy. I want to be like you to teach somebody else. I have a lot of experience in engineering and the real estate. And now I'm doing consulting as well. I have my own company since 2003. So I'm importing lights from China to have a digital lighting gallery in Nashville. And I like golfing, so I'm the first tee coach in the middle of Tennessee. I went the golf course near Shelby Park. So I play 9 holes every morning. Wow. I have a lot of energy. I get up at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. YMCA at 5 o'clock, and I did the Bible study from 6 to 6:30 with my friend in DC area. Then I went golf course, play 9 holes, and eat my breakfast, then do my real estate job, consulting job, importing stuff. So now I'm here with you. So I want to have opportunity to write my own book.
But to me, that's a book in itself. If you get up and play 9 holes before breakfast, I think
I'm good at that now. I can finish 9 holes within 40 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's an incredible morning, by the way.
Thank you. I do this every day. So I try to discipline myself. I don't want to just do Monday, not Sunday. I do from Monday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday.
Wow, that's impressive, man. You would give Hal Elrod the Miracle Morning a run for his money.
Thank you. Yesterday, I just said, I want you to go to China to speak over there because that's the second largest economic,
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of audience out there.
I'm in. I'm interested.
Great. Yeah.
So here's what I want you thinking. As part of the mentoring, a good mentor should help you find and fill your missing structures. Right? The word enlighten means to shine light on darkness. Okay. Now, if you say to me, I want to be a person of interest, and I want to tell you, part of being a person of interest is you're doing big things in the world. You're taking action. You're writing a book. You're creating something. You're doing something, and you got to start somewhere. Even if you just start with something. I was coaching a young lady. Actually, I was coaching Tracy, which is Stephen's cousin. And I was coaching her today on I've got her doing this 3 webinars. She wanted to do a summit. And I said, look, the best way to do a summit, set the date, put it on the calendar. Okay. And then let's do 3 webinars to get people. Then let's push them to your 1-day summit. The only way we're going to know if it works is to do it. And you say, well, what if only 2 people show up? Guys, from a 2-person workshop, I signed a $450,000 contract once. 2 people showed up. It wasn't all in 1 year. It was over a 3 or 4 year cycle, but it was a huge contract just for 2 people. So I would tell you, when you're just getting started, we need to put something on the books and we need to push something toward it just to get started. The webinars, it doesn't matter if 7 people show up. It gives you a chance to practice for an hour, get better. Then you need to say, if you really like this, I'm doing another one next week. Right. And then, hey, then just start asking for money. Hey, for $497, I'm going to do a 4-week series on, and I give things unique names. I was coached by a person that said, make everything a unique process and give everything a unique name. So you see me call $1 Million Coaching Summit, flip the switch, person of interest. I try to come up with unique names that I go, you know what? Like this weekend, we're doing a level up Labor Day. So it's a big 3 or 4 day push in my coaching program, level up Labor Day, for you to take action on certain things. So my marketing team's working on it. So we come up with the concept, and then, man, we just push it as hard as we can. And my goal is to get 50 to 150 new people in my coaching program this weekend over Labor Day. Okay. And what we do is we run specials and just spurts of things, and boom, 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 bundles. And part of being able to bundle something is having things to bundle. Right. So it's saying, hey, if you take action, I give you this. If you take action, I give you this. If you take action, I give you this. And lots of people just have one thing. I was coaching a health coach today, and she uses the same health product I do, Optavia. She's making about $500,000 a year as an Optavia health coach. And I said, well, here's your problem, because she wants to speak. I said, when she goes speak, you only got one product. If they don't want weight loss or nutrition or a health system, you don't have anything to sell them. Right? So what if you went and spoke on the health system, and you also had a book and a coaching summit and this? Now if they say, well, I don't want the health thing right now, but I do want to come study and mentor under this. Now you have something to sell them for that. So a lot of people get confused. I would just decomplicate this for you guys. Either any one of you could start today, create a webinar series, have people on it, make the webinar series topic sexy, where people would jump on it, and then say, hey, if anybody's interested, I'm doing a 3 or 4 week mentoring program. It's $297. Just see. And if nobody takes it, they're giving you feedback. Hey, I don't like this. Hey, I don't see the value in this. Okay. Because ultimately what I want to coach you into is people of interest. Now, when you're a person of interest, here's the good news. Now people are coming to you. Opportunities coming to you. Like this morning, I got that phone call. Hey, I want you to come to Vegas. I've got 1.6 million people on my podcast. Will you come to Vegas and be on the podcast? And I'm like, sure I will. Who wouldn't want to get in front of 1.6 million people? Right? There's no way it could be bad for me. But I don't think like that. I think, who could I stop on the way and see in Dallas or Houston? Like I booked a thing in Houston today for me to come to Houston and speak and coach a group. And I go, how could I stop in Houston and Phoenix and Vegas and do boom, 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 3 stops on the way? That's how my mind thinks. So I'm just glad that people are calling me, right? I'm glad that now, if you do it at the highest level, like what a Cardone is doing a free webinar. He's getting 50,000 people on there. And then he's selling, at 2,000 at $997. See what I'm saying? He's making 1.8 million to do a 4-week program. So he's really making 1.8 million for a couple of hours of 4 to 6 hours of his time. Everybody see that? But that ain't the real sale. The real sale is, hey, now buy a 10X ticket. Now come to a boot camp for 10,000. Now come to a mastermind in St. Bart's. Like if you watch what I do, I got all these products. I got a publishing summit if you want to write a book. I got a guy on my team who will write the book for you. I got a guy on the team that'll help package it. I got a person that'll make it a bestseller. I got a coaching program for you to be involved in. I got couples retreat. Like what I'm doing is I'm creating products, and I'm saying, hey, if you don't like that product, it's okay. Take this product. but what if you don't have any products? What if you don't have anything to push me to? And it's like, I really like you, but you haven't packaged it in a way. Okay. So that's really the lesson of today. Part of being a person of interest: mission, message, messenger. Okay. Find it, package it, sell it. Okay. Now I was talking, I'll give you one more, then I'll take any questions you have. I was talking to a person who's a really good ClickFunnels person today. And I said, give me some examples of somebody you're working with. She said, well, I'm working with a guy called the Angry Therapist, which I thought was kind of a cool concept. And he created a little product that was $5. Then he created another product that was this. And basically, he's spending $12,000 a month in ads. But he's making $30,000 a month in revenue. Right? So you look at it and go, $12,000 a month in ads? Well, he's really making, right, $18,000 a month off his Facebook ads. Annualize that out, and he's making X number of hundreds of thousands a year in a product where he has to do nothing. So think about making $150,000 to $200,000 a year doing nothing. You already create the product and you're selling the product. Does that make sense? But if you don't have a product or a group or something to do that, then you don't have anything to push people to. Okay. Now, Sue is a successful real estate agent, and she may say to me, Coach, maybe I want to write the book, maybe I don't. Sue, what's your main intention with this course?
Well, you were my mentor or coach 4 or 5 years ago, and I find that I need accountability when I do things. That's one of my problems.
Yep.
I would like to do some international real estate sales.
Nice. Good.
That's what I would like to do. I have done a lot of writing. I used to write 3 newsletters monthly at one time, but I'm not sure exactly what I should do whereas the book is concerned.
Okay.
I sometimes lean toward age because I'm 74.
Yep.
And I'll be 75 next month. And I've gone through different cycles. Like for a while there, I had back problems. So I didn't do as much. But now I'm back on track again.
Well,
but I don't know what to do.
Part of what you're saying, if I want to represent international buyers, is right, becoming known. I need to become known to a certain group of people so that they will come to me. That's
right.
really what I'm hearing. And so the question becomes, how do you become known so they come to you? And that's part of the person of interest strategy. What makes you unique? How do we package it? How do we distribute it? How do we sell it? How do we get it to the right people? How do we get to the right people to let them know you are the person that can represent international buyers? That's all marketing is. Let's make marketing simple. Marketing is you have something of value and you are distributing that message to the right people who want it. Everybody see that? Marketing seems real complicated, but it's not that complicated. Okay. You have something and you are getting that message to the people who want what you have. There's a distribution right there.
I also thought that I should probably improve my French. I used to be fairly good in French.
Wow.
And maybe that might help in international sales.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So you're working on you while you're figuring this out. So good. So you're going to so your homework assignment is going to be from today's session is going to be what do you think is your special? What is it that you have that you bring to the table that's really unique? Okay. Could be and then tied up in your message. Now 2, how are you going to package that special? What can you put it in? Just think of packaging as anything I can absorb. I can buy it. I can read it. I can consume it. Right. And then 3, how do you plan to distribute that special? Okay. Who are you going to get the message to? Who wants it? Who needs it? Now, let me close with this. That show on Undercover Billionaire, that's an assignment for you too. I want you to watch Undercover Billionaire. It's on Discovery. One of the things he said when he built his mortgage company is most people create a product and then try to sell that product to people. And I have been guilty, number one of this, versus finding buyers first and then creating the product. Okay. I have a lot here in my city that I own. It's probably a $500,000 lot that I bought several years ago. And I was going to put it, I was all excited. I was going to put a greatness factory on there. Then I figured out that I live in kind of a, you know, a blue collar, middle class area. It's not really ideal for a lot of coaching. I really need to go to Nashville, which is 20 minutes down the road, and put my greatness factory down there. There's more receptiveness to it. There's more openness to it. There's more people. There's more progressive people. Everybody see that? And that was a mistake. I bought a lot thinking I'm going to take this greatness factory and put it right here because everybody wants to be great. I should have went out to the marketplace and said, what do people need? Who are buyers and what do they want here? And then put something on that lot that people wanted. And it may have been a Krispy Kreme donut shop because they line up for Krispy Kremes here, right? Doc, they wouldn't be on your plan, Doc. Now, but here's the deal. When I take my daughter to school in the morning, there's 25 cars in line at Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yes.
And I know they're making money. Now, so my point is, although I don't believe that's what I need to put there, if I would have asked the market what they need or what they buy, they may have said, man, we'd buy Krispy Kreme donuts all day long if you put a Krispy Kreme on it, right? Now, so just think about that. That's just something that stuck with me when I watched that show. It's like, man, I've been going about this backward. I've been trying to create products and then sell those products to people that don't want them. What I should have done is ask people what they want and then backtrack and created the product that they needed. And you can do that with your coaching. You can poll, what do people want? You know, what do people need? You know, like Dr. Steve, I think a lot of people need energy. They need energy. Now, if you ask them, do they need energy? Do you have to explain it to them that they need energy? Or do they just know they need energy? And so I think these are important concepts for you guys to be thinking about. Is find your buyer, then backtrack and ask what they need, and then create it. Don't create it and then try to sell it. Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do is you got an assignment. We're going to do these every week in September. They moved to Tuesday next week. Today's Wednesday. They moved to Tuesday next week. So they'll be on Tuesday each week, 4 p.m. And we'll coach you on a concept. Today was find, package, and sell your special and why it's important to be a person of interest. Okay. Any questions for me?
Coach, I have just one simple question. I was able to get on a local friend's community. It's going to bring me on for a online retreat.
Yeah.
So I get a chance. I have a package which is called Divine Exploration.
Yep.
And so I'm just listening to your marketing strategy of sending something out on Sunday and Monday, and because I'm not the outgoing person, although I'm a storyteller. So, do you have any suggestions in terms of, because I want to take advantage now of getting people so that I can begin to build a list, to build an email list and to reach out. But do you have any suggestions on like marketing that's something that's already out there? They send to their communities, and that's where it goes, just to the friends community. But I want to put it out so that, because anybody could come, but their marketing is very limited. Yep. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to put it out because I already have something available at the end of the month.
Yeah, what I do is I create a simple graphic, or I have somebody create a graphic, and then I distribute that graphic through my social media with a simple link that people can take action. Now, it's very important how you tell a story. So when you put you don't just put the graphic out there, you tell a story. I've been invited to speak at this. This is a unique group of people, solves this problem. This is what you're going to learn. Join me. Boom. Here's a link to register.
Okay.
Just remember, when we're promoting things, we really have to tell a story. People are so busy. They don't just know they should come see you. You got to sell it. Mm-hmm. You got to go back to the P.T. Barnum days of how he got people to the circus. That's one mistake I made for years. I was a great coach, but a bad marketer. You got to become a great marketer. I don't care what you're selling. If you can't become a great marketer, then man, we're in trouble. So I wouldn't post it one time. I posted X number of times. I'd have a high frequency. I'd let people know, man, I'm coming. Come on, join us at this. It's good.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I got to jump on a plane to Florida. We're going to our house in Florida tonight. I got an 8-week-old son. I don't know if you guys know that. I got an 8-year-old daughter here and an 8-week-old son. So this is the little man's first trip flying. And so we're going to jump on a plane and fly down to our beach house down in Florida. And I'm actually speaking this Saturday to about 2,000 health coaches via a big summit. So I'm going to be, guess what they asked me to do? Person of interest. Can you imagine, right? Everybody loves person of interest. Hey, maybe the market's telling me something.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Love you.
Good,
Thank
good.
you for,
Yeah.
for a good
Fly
person.
safely.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye now.